sometime in the university, subjects become difficult and maybe not in your case, but breakups, personal problems and extracurricular, these things makes us less focused to the academics.
Yes.
So did you have any such obstacles?
I really don't want to change things, like, because if you consider the butterfly effect, when you change a small thing, everything drastically changes. So I don't want to change anything, but I would like to see.
Hi everyone, welcome you all to the one that has everyone buzzing, Colloquy with a non-stranger. I'm Dithmeena Egodagamage from your Rotaract Club of University of Columbus School of Computing, and this is our very first episode of our new podcast. In this podcast, I'm going to be interviewing some very interesting personalities who have graduated from University of Columbus School of Computing in the recent years of university history. And we are going to talking about everything from how well they do now and what are the secrets and reasons for their successful career life to what kind of experience they got out of their university life to be in the place where they are now. And by that, we are trying to motivate the upcoming graduates from the university to reach their goals by following the paths of these personalities. And today we have a super special personality with us, our first non-stranger, Mr. Raveen Perera. Talking about him, he is a very experienced person for such a young age, and he has been a specialist software engineer at London Stock Exchange Group and a backend software engineer at Prelai, which is a financial service company in Switzerland. So we warmly welcome you to the first card.
Thank you.
So how are you today?
Feeling good. Not bad. Yeah.
Great to hear that. So I just gave a little introduction about yourself. So tell us more about you.
So apart from, or just adding to what you just said, I have graduated from Ucsc in 2017, and then went to LSEC to work in that time it was called Millennium IT, and worked there about 4.5 years. And then I recently switched to Relay, which is a Bitcoin company in Switzerland, which I work remotely from Sri Lanka. So that's about my career, and I have studied computer science in UCSC. I'm also married to one of my colleagues back then for 5 years actually. So it's been going good since then, yeah.
So it's great to hear. So tell a little bit about how is your life now? How is it going?
It's going good, apart from the fact that people are migrating, all my friends are migrating, and apart from the situation in the country, it's going good. Yeah, hanging on. Yeah, nothing bad to add there.
Right, great. So let's go all the way back to the past. Like, so journeying back in time, how was university life for you?
University life, when starting, I chose to come to UCSC, and I chose computer science. That was my only choice in my university, what do you call it, request form.
Yeah.
So I was very excited and happy when I got in. And from then on, it was not all about academics. I think I've been involved in so many clubs and so many things outside the work of how do you call it, academics. And I found good friends there, and it helped me a lot. The things that I did apart from academics to be here where I am right now. Yeah, so it was a really fun time, and I really like to go back to that time with all the friends and stuff.
So university days must have given you some sweet and sour memories, right?
Yeah.
So can you share some of your best memories and some of your worst memories?
Okay, so one of the best memories would be when we were in first year. We won second place in the Sleep Gold Fest, and it wasn't anticipated because we just applied for fun, and the I think there were like six of us. We applied, and we never thought we we would be in second place because there were people from all over the country and people who are doing their final year researches. Um, but when they started to announce it, it was a really epic moment for us. Even even if it wasn't that much of a big thing, but since we were in first year, it was a really good memory to us. And the friends who have been with me in that project were the friends who I had until I graduate, and still who are friends with me, close friends. Yeah, so that's one of the good memories that I have. Sour memories. I don't know. I really can't think about one. Um, Maybe because
All
yeah,
the memories you had was good, right?
yeah, generally good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm curious about the answer to this question. So you have a wife who is one of your colleagues.
Yeah.
So, however, after some time in the university, subjects become difficult and maybe not in your case, but breakups, personal problems, and extracurricular. These things makes us less focused to the academics.
Yeah.
So, did you have any such obstacles? And if you had, how did those things affect you?
Yeah, certainly, because we were involved in a lot of clubs, specifically the IEEE, ComSoc, then outside the GDG, I was an organizer there. So, and all the stuff, the functions happen in the university. Um, so, it was challenging because you sometimes have to miss lectures, and then it's hard to catch up sometimes. So people in our batch would put, how do you call it, cookies,
Yeah.
and I think the cookies helped us a lot, and you know because it's done by colleagues, and that was a good way to for people who have not been in lectures, who have been involved in some other work, extra work. So they got the chance with them, and then we had friends to help us. So having a good bunch of friends, a really close group with good friends I think, is a good luck, and a good thing to have in the university. Um, yeah, I think when you do extra work, it's always a challenge with academics. Um, but I try to balance it as much as possible. My grades are not that much, you know, uh, good grades, but I've managed to come this far. So the extra work that I did helped a lot for that.
So it is a very good thing that we have such kind of friends that who are helping to make our advantage. So every one of us had that so-called what is the ambition when we are in the preschool, right? So did you have the passion of being the software engineer when you are get older, or it just happened?
No, I think when I was in kindergarten, maybe we haven't even heard about software. I mean, the only thing we had was like we used the computer to play games. Small. There weren't any. Yeah, there weren't Windows even when we were little. So my ambition was to become a scientist. Um, I really didn't had the path, which path, like a physicist or a mathematician. So that wasn't in my head, but was a bit more in the side of a physicist. So I wanted to be a physicist. Um, yeah.
So, as now you are a software engineer, so did you have an idea of company that you are going to work right after you get out of the university?
Mm, no, but I've heard of a few companies in Sri Lanka, like the famous ones, like WSO2, MIT. Back then, Cisco Labs was DeepSet. So we heard about these companies, and when you have the passion, you tend to learn more about what these companies do before you actually apply to them. So we did our research, and the one that I applied for, which is MIT, was the one that I really liked to go, and I worked hard to get that opportunity, and yeah, I got in there. So it was a really good, another really good memory.
One big question in everyone's mind is we know that software engineers get a higher salary than compared to the other jobs in the field. And on the other hand, is the workload and the pressure is too much in this job.
Mm, it actually depends. It's not always, the workload is not always high. It's sometimes high when you have really tight deadlines that you need to deliver projects. And when that happens, it goes from like really cool atmosphere to a really stressful one. But in Sri Lankan companies, I find it more and more common, the stress factor, than the one the European one that I'm working right now. So, you know, in Sri Lankan companies, all my friends, you know they say that the work these days, the work is stressed because there is a release going on. But sometimes when the release goes good and everything is fine, then it's cool, it's fine. But I think it's up to you, um, to keep your cool, not to get stressed. And if you feel any stress like that, and you feel that it's affecting you somehow, you have to quit right away. Like, you have to talk to your seniors in the office, um, and if they can't sort it out, you have to quit right away, because people might not see us as doing hard work, like we don't do carpenting, we don't do masonry. So but our mind is working so hard, and it's more stress. I mean, it's more of a stress to your body. Um, so so you have to keep that in mind. Like, if you feel any stress, you have to talk to your seniors, or just get out of there right away.
Right. So that's a good advice from a person who has been skilled for quite some time. So as you are in the field, so you are working day. So mainly software engineers are working day and night, right? So how do you balance your work life and personal life with that kind of workload?
Mm. So, um, if you talk about personal life, so I would just like to divide this into the two companies that I work. So, back in LSEC, we went to the office because there was no COVID back then, and the atmosphere there was really good, um, and our personal space and all the time we need off from work was really valuable. But I can't speak the same way about all the other companies because I haven't been there. So it was a really good experience. The thing we need to keep in mind is that we spend 8 hours or more a day for our work, right? So it's not just work is not another thing. Life is not a separate thing. It's the same thing. There is no such thing as work life balancing. It's the same thing. So I just see it as the same thing. And since I have a partner who understands the same thing, because she's also in the same field, and she's been through breakdowns while doing her stuff, her software stuff. So um, yeah, So I think um, when you want to, when you talk about balancing your work life, you have to think it as a one thing and not two things. But now I work remotely, and it's always at home. And when we started that, it felt for us like it's a good opportunity because we don't have to travel anywhere. We are at home. But now it's getting a little depressing because you don't get to see friends. And for me, I have to come to Colombo and I need to meet friends, and there are no friends right now. Um, so when you are at home, if you are doing remote work, then it's really a good idea to stop the work, because when you're working at home, you have no time to stop the work. Like, because the office is at your home, you would work in your kitchen, you would work in your bedroom. So you have to keep in mind that you have to stop your work, and just attend only the serious stuff at night. And that's what I see from people who are in European countries. They stop work uh, at the time they need to stop it, and they don't come and bug you unless there is a really serious issue. So yeah, so to balance your life, uh, to get a healthy life while you work, you have to analyze where you're going to work, or the place you're going to work. How is the work life there? Talk to your friends, talk to some other people, and just do your research before going to a place. So yeah.
Alright, so that is something for you to remember when you are choosing your dream industry. So as we are starting off something new, we all have some expectations that what we are want to be in this field or in this job that I'm doing. So there must have been such expectations for you when you came to this job. So tell us about those expectations, and are those expectations achieved right now?
Yeah. So my expectation was to um, incrementally get good at um, the backend engineering stuff that I do, and so I have my, how do you call, my favorite stack of languages or tools that I use, and a field that I like to work on, and I've chose accordingly the job because I like those. I don't I don't like to choose jobs that in what do you call it, because it's just a job which pays you a lot. I don't like to go there. I like to choose. I choose really well, and sometimes it's really stressful because it's like a mania. Like I just analyze every single thing before I go somewhere, and I see if it's a good fit for me. So for now, I've been in the industry for almost 6 years now. Um, the place that I want to be now, like doing the stuff what I do right now, is the stuff that I like to do. So I think I'm there, and maybe in a 5 years time, I would like to have my own thing. We had our own thing back in university, me and one of my friends. Um, yeah, so it's another thing in the back of my mind that we are going to kickstarting the game.
Well, that's great to hear. As right now you are in position that good as a software engineer, what are the good and bad things about your current positions? If you want to share?
How do you call it, like good and bad in what,
Like the good things, I know that you are work in a place that you like to work. You meet your expectations. But as a software engineer who work remotely and in a foreign company, is there any bad things in your point of view?
I think one of the bad things is you don't get to meet people physically. You only do remote meetings, but we meet each other once a year, twice a year, in a country that we choose. But it's still then, um, we are at home. It's the same. It feels like the same thing happening all over and over, and sometimes depressing because you get up early, and then you do the same routine over and over again, and sometimes because of the time difference, you'll have to, because they start work at about 10 a.m., 9 a.m. their time. That means 1:30 p.m. in our time, and it goes on till 10:30. But I try to finish my work at 7 or 8. But if there is something, a support task that needs to be addressed, sometimes I would have to stay longer because of the time difference and so on. Yeah, so I think yeah, that would be.
Exactly, things about the person. Okay. So you slightly mentioned about this that you are a co-founder of RSVP.lk, right? So where you are self-employed for almost more than 7 years now. So tell us a little bit about that.
So RSVP is kind of my baby. Me and another friend of mine called Sanoj, we started that when we were in, I think, second year. We wrote the whole thing ourselves, the front end, the back end, everything, and we hosted it. We hosted the Google I/O in it. We hosted all the JFS, GDG events, all IEEE events from other universities in there. Just in a platform that we both of us wrote, and we continue developing it and until 2016, and then we upgraded it, and in 2017, 18, 19 it was in use by people, and sadly we had to go our separate ways. Like, we started our jobs, he started in Cisco and I started in LSEG. So the time that we had to focus on our startup was really low, and then my wife also started helping on it, but it, it wasn't going anywhere, and we had to shut everything down. So yeah, sadly, and everyone still, I went to an event like 2 weeks back, and still there are people were asking, can we use RSVP now? Can you please host it again? Because they find it difficult hosting events, the features that we offered. So I started to think with my wife that let's kickstart this again. Maybe, let's see. Yeah.
Okay, let's hope that we will be seeing RSVP again, right?
Yeah.
So now, as you are in the IT field in Sri Lanka, what do you think is needs to be changed in the IT field in Sri Lanka comparing to the other countries?
I won't say this about all the companies, but there are some companies who still haven't adopted the software way of working, like the casual way of working. They still have that mindset of a government worker. So because it's not a requirement for us to wear like government workers, or people who need to be in a welcoming position for their clients, to dress like that, and to be on time, and to work overtime. I think that needs to stop. I think people need to value. I mean, the management in there needs to value the mental health of the people, because that's not really been looked at. I think they should look at that more carefully with the current incidents that we heard about, the stuff. So although it was just one company that's highlighted, there are so many others that does the same thing, like pressure you to a point that you break, and I think people need to avoid going to those, and they need to change their way of thinking, because now you guys are Gen Z, right? So it's a new generation, and I think you guys won't tolerate this. Um, so the new way of working will slowly be adjusted like that. The work hard versus work smart, and people need to, yeah, I think they need to get away from those rules and to just focus on people to get the work done rather than doing work overtime. Yeah, so I think that should be considered.
Alright. So let me ask you a common question that everyone asks. So if you have the superpower to go back in time, what would you change? And if you have a superpower to go back in future, what would you do?
Okay. If I went back in time, I really don't want to change things, like, because if you consider the butterfly effect, when you change a small thing, everything drastically changes. So I don't want to change anything, but I would like to see our startup getting, um, you know, for us to realize that this has good potential and then work on that harder than we've done, uh, and we've missed some opportunities. So I would like to have it as my thing and have it running right now. And if I go to the future, mm, I don't know. I might say the same thing. I might like to have my own company and people uh, working to that uh, to that product, and to have a good environment with people. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for your future ambition. Yeah. So, what do you have to say to the current undergraduates, that those who are waiting to go out and those who are waiting to enter the industry? Do you have something to say to them?
Yeah. So the main thing I would like to say is that please follow what you like, what you love, and not the stuff um, that that is just out there. Please follow, if it can be many things, like it can be a programming language, it can be the product or the business line that you do. Let's say you like financial market, you like um, you like artificial intelligence, you um, like just to do let's say quality assurance. So if you like to do that, then please do that and not do anything else, because that's going to be really stressful when once you start work. You might get through with the interview. You might have all the skills to top an interview, but once you start working, it's going to be hectic. I've seen my friends, um, you know, who have done that and who have regretted that. So, and it's not all about academics. If you like academics, please follow that path and go do your PhD, do your MSc. Just do that if you like that, but don't do an MSc or a PhD for the sake of doing it. If you think like I need a PhD to get a job, like, don't think like that. Just follow what you love. Um, yeah, I think that's about a really abstract general idea that I can give to people.
All right. So, as we have come to the final question for today, which is, what do you honestly think about this project? What are your thoughts?
I think it's really good. Taking people, like, it's seniors coming, and it's something like seniors coming and talking. So I think you should just carry this on. Maybe have physical events with students who like to ask questions directly from people. Um, just ask people to register and do it physically so that people can ask questions. Um, but as a start, this is really good. Keep doing it, because when I was in first second years, I I really like to hear stories from our seniors, because you don't have to copy them. You just have to, you get to know that there are things like this in the industry, in the outside world, and you get an idea and influence from them. So yeah, it's good thing. Keep doing it.
Right. Thank you so much. That brings us to the end of this episode. So thank you so much, Raveen, for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So we had a great time with you in the quality with a non-stranger, and now you are certainly not a non-stranger. You are certainly a very good non-personality. So we hope our new effort was beneficial to our audience. So hope you all enjoyed the podcast. Thank you all for staying with the Quality with a Non-Stranger, brought to you by the Rotaract Club of University of Columbus School of Computing. And if you enjoyed the show, please leave a like and a comment right below. And be sure to come back in next week to get to know another non-stranger. So if you want to know when it is going to happen, subscribe to our channel. So we will be back very soon. So until then, stay curious.